不幸せという名の猫がいる不幸せという名の猫がいる
Yo, what is up, students? It is Professor Tricks, and I'm back in action with Black Ops 2. It's mid-December, and I don't see as many knifers out there as I'd like. So I'm going to teach you, if you got cold feet, how to put together your class in order to get out there onto the battlefield and start blading some suckers. Alright, first you're going to have to choose what knife you want to use. Now, there's the combat knife, there's the ballistic knife, and the tactical knife, so you have those three options. My favorite, and what I'm going to cover right now, is the combat knife perk setup. Now, to put the combat knife on its beauty, all you have to do is leave the primary and secondary slots empty, and you'll start with the default combat knife when your game begins. So now that that's out of the way, let's jump right into this perk setup. I also love using the combat knife as my favorite because it gets me 5 perks that I can utilize. But for my first slot, my go-to is Flak Jacket, obvious reasons, truck through those claymores, bouncing betties, grenades, all types of explosives. Now in the perk slot number 2, go with Fast Hands as your mainstay. Fast Hands allows you to throw those combat axes really fast and those tactical weapons if you utilize them. Now in the perk 3 slot, you're going to choose Extreme Conditioning as your mainstay. These are the 3 that I personally believe cannot be substituted, although Flak Jacket, you might be able to get away with not using Flak Jacket. Now for your lethal, obviously Combat Axe is the only thing you're going to want in that lethal slot. And this is where things get very interesting in the pick 10 system, where you get to choose how you want to customize your knifer to your style. It's the wildcard section. Now in the first wildcard section, I'm going to choose perk 1 greed. Now for perk 1 greed, you have a couple of options you can choose, as well as having your Flak Jacket on. What I usually go with is lightweight, but lightweight I've found with the combat knife doesn't really help it out as much as I'd like. I like being really nimble, but for this example I'm going to choose Blind Eye, even though Ghost and Hardline are both very viable in perk slot number 1. If you want those score streaks quicker, obviously Ghost is better than getting your score streaks quicker if you want to remain incognito. Now for wild card number 2, I'm going to go with perk 3 greed. Now you could go with perk 2 greed if you like, but I personally go with perk 3 greed because it allows me to choose the tactical mask. Now the tactical mask, it obviously reduces the effects of shock charges, which are very pesky, and the effects of flashes and concussions, which keeps your player moving through the battlefield quickly without being stopped, without hindrances. Now, Danger Close is going to be my third go-to. Reason being, I don't have Scavenger, which is in perk slot 2, so I'm going to want another long distance option, which is going to be my Combat Axe ×2. Check that out. And this is my go-to class that you are looking at right now. Now obviously this can be changed up to how you like. You can change the perk 1 greed, perk 2 greed, perk 3 greed, but for now I'm going to keep Blind Eye on. I'm probably going to use Ghost myself. Like I said earlier, lightweight with the combat knife. Since you're not carrying any weapons, I don't believe it does very much to make you any lighter and move you quicker, but I'll have to do more tests on that before I can recommend that. So for now I'm just going to go with Blind Eye so I can stay out of sight from those automatic air support choppers and the like. In the second slot though, you can choose either Cold-Blooded or Scavenger if you want to choose the perk 2 greed. I'd probably recommend Scavenger over Cold-Blooded since it is definitely a lot stronger. Now in the third slot, it's a very interesting slot. Dead Silence and Awareness, I would not recommend this time around. I mean, sound whoring doesn't really happen as much as it did in Modern Warfare 3, so if you don't want to choose Tactical Mask, I would choose Engineer over Dead Silence or Awareness. Now, Engineer is very strong in that it delays triggered explosives and allows you to re-roll those care packages, and it also shows you enemy equipment that is placed throughout the world. So, I choose Tactical Mask over Engineer because I don't like concussions or flash flashes either, as well as shock charges, but that delays bouncing betties and claymores if you choose the perk 3 greed with the engineer. Now if you want to choose a tactical, you could pick up a concussion grenade, which I would recommend, or a smoke grenade if you wanted to choose from those slots. Now let's set up our ballistic knife class. It's a little different. You have to adjust a little bit. You have to remove a wild card, which means either getting rid of your additional combat axe or removing a perk. Personally, I'm going to remove a perk from perk slot 1. I'm going to take off blind eye so that I can use my ballistic knife. Now the ballistic knife is a very special kind of knife since it has a spring-loaded blade that actually shoots, so it gives you more long distance options along with those lethal axes. Now when you choose the ballistic knife and take away a perk slot, it's going to leave you with one more choice that you can choose along with the rest of your class. So what I'm going to actually do is pick up a smoke grenade and tack that onto my class, because I don't want to go into a game having one slot open when I can utilize something. Might as well have all 10 slots filled. Now if you want to go with the tactical knife, which a lot of people use and find is more direct, now I'm not really sure if that's true, if it actually gets more kills and is actually more accurate when you go for the kill, because this knifing system is really wonky in terms of Black Ops 2. So some people, they swear by the tactical knife in that it kills better. But when you choose the tactical knife, you have to remove something else. What I'm going to do is actually remove that smoke grenade and just put on my other combat axe. And there you have it. That is all 3 classes set up, how I prefer them with the tactical, ballistic knife, and the combat axe. Now before we step out onto the battlefield, all we have to do is make a stop at the score streak menu, and remember to choose those knife only score streak options, which are the UAV, the counter UAV, or the orbital VSAT. Actually all 3 of them. You can interchange it with the care package if you want to give that care package to a friend or a teammate on your team. Now you can use the care package if it has a knife only option within it, and if you use engineer, maybe you can switch it and get a knife only option within it. But I would recommend the UAV, counter UAV, and orbital VSAT as your score streak choices. Now that does it for me, Professor Tricks. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have not taken the knife out on the battlefield, I hope this inspires you to set up that class and get at it. Now I'm going to start up this next game on raid here. Keep those blades sharp.